All right, so that was all about B-roll. So make sure you took a screenshot of that. Now we're going to actually go in and talk about the text part. This is where you go in. You're going to add in the text. So you're going to add the text to your video with it. So what I always like to do is to have a beginning text to kind of like give a little intro and fade it out with it. You know, you can actually see how things work with it. Let's you know, like I said, there's some tweaks that I'm going to have you do. Like I said, this is the B-roll. You can see another layer coming out of this thing, but I kind of like having to see some more of that flowers with it as well. So what I can do is if I take this right here, if I move it, if I move this part right here, you see how I can move that and push that over a little bit? It just pushes the whole thing down to the right with it as well. And you can make it, you can see how this becomes, because all that's being covered up with it. And I didn't want to lose any of those things with it. So this just makes it a little bit more, you know, kind of like a little bit more settings you can actually do. It's not lost, those layers are not lost with it as well. Anyways, let me get in, and I like for you to come in right now, and we're going to actually click on the T tool right here to add text with it. Click on the text tool for me, and we're going to actually take this line back to here with it, just starting from the beginning, 0, 0, 0, the timeline with it. Click on the text tool for me, and you can go in here and you can actually type in anywhere in here. Let me just drop in a text tool right here, I'll start typing here Japanese botanical garden, or I think the correct name is the Fort Worth botanic garden, something like that. I don't know, just something. And the other thing I would like for you to do is put your name into this as well. So after you type this right here, make sure we center this, and we'll look into this as well. So I'd like for you to go in right now by your name. Put your name here. I can't type at the same time. By your, I don't know why I can't type, name. Okay, so make sure you put your name on there like everything else you do with it. So I don't want my name, your name on here as well, right? So there's a little bit more detail you can go into this. Once you have this, you can select it. I'm going to select this right now with it. So once I have the text, come down to your timeline down here. I'm going to click on this. Click on this this text that I noticed I just put in here, Fort Worth Botanical Garden right here with it, right? And opens up this whole palette of the properties of the text I can actually use with it. So let's go in here, let's look at this for a moment. I can change the text type with it. So if you do a pull down, pick a text type that you can live with right now. I suggest you use something that is sans serif, or something that's very, very easy to read. Verdana is a good font to use with it as well. You can also, you know, get this thing aligned center. Let's get that image aligned center with it. We'll fix this in a second. Or let me see if I could actually align this thing with it as well. Here's the alignment tool with it. And you can get that. This is the alignment up here. Let's get this to the center with it. Or you can take this right here and just click on this thing, and you can actually move your make sure you have it selected again. You can take this and play with the opacity with it, you know, and you can drop the font opacity. Let me maximize that with it. We can create a style in this thing. So in the future, go ahead. Let's go ahead and create a style. Create a style in this one. So let's call this thing Dan's style, something like this. I don't know, call your name on there. I don't care. Create your style on there as well with it later on. When we do another one, we just pick the style. It will remember the font size and everything with it. So this is regular. That's what that is with it. Let's keep this thing. This is the one. Move this over here. So I got this aligned center. I have centering the box type, and then I also have the name in here with it. Let's look at the color of the font. let's make this, let's make this a little darker with it. Let's get this about, nah, don't like that. Let's do that. I don't know. We can give a background color. Let's give a background color with this thing with it. This is right now transparent. If it's a lighter background color with it, something like this. You can bend it. You could do a lot of things to it and all that stuff with it. That's okay. You can go in. You can put a shadow on it. Again, it's up to you how you want to play with all of this with it as well. So, but this is for now. I need for you to have it looking like this right now, something like this. So it starts out with it. All right. So when we actually play this, this is how long this video is going to be. You see your font on there. Okay. So that's however long that you want your segment on there. Which is a little bit too long for me to let you know that. So I just want to splash a little text on there. So let me place my cursor to the right of that and adjust that font, the title, to a little bit smaller with it, like this. So when I play it again for you, it will just appear. And we haven't added any effects yet. We will, okay? But I just want to show you that. Excuse me. How that actually looks right now with it. Cool? So this is how you very briefly add fonts to it. You can put a name to, what I like to do is at the end, you can add in another text right here with it. Let's take our scrub line to the end of this thing. Or you can name things wherever you're at right here. So somewhere in the middle right here, you can start your name. This is like the greenhouse. Let's say if I want to add in, you could say something along the line, let's see, about right here, where the greenhouse starts with it. So I can come in here, I'm going to just, let me add, I like for you to add greenhouse. Okay. Take that arrow, you can move that down to about right here with it. And it really depends, like I said, the font that's dropped in here, I'm going to shorten this up a little bit with it, maybe that much with it, and that's what the greenhouse looks like. Again, right now, the styles, what I want it to do, I'm going to use that same style that I have as Dan Create Styles, and it pops it in there with it. Do I want a background color with it? Here's the fill background color with it. I'm going to do a background color with it. Let's do another background color. I don't know, just for the purpose of demonstrating this. So it looks like this, kind of like a blue background color. Let's get the opacity up with it like that. Okay. So greenhouse, right? So you can actually see when we actually come across this part right here, that's where it's coming in right now with it. So I'm going to come down to the end of this thing. So somewhere each one of these segments I can come in and talk. And at the end of this right now, I want to add in a little blurb at the end right now with it. Click right here and bring that needle down here. I'm watching this right now. And you can go in here, you could label stuff on here that you want. I hope you guys ever get a chance, do go to the Fort Worth Botanical Garden, where it's just a nice weekend to spend out there with it. this is, we're approaching almost at the end of this. I'm watching this as we're doing this. So some about right here, okay? So right about right here, I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna use the text tool. I'm gonna say something, this is just keeping everything cool with it. So thank you. Just a thank you message if you want to do it with this. Well, that's fine with it. Again, select it all. You can do the styles. The style is the same type of fonts that you have. You could do a background color. Let's give it another background color. I'm going to give this a very purple colorish. Again, this extends way out too much with it, so. All right, so as it comes up here, we're about to, we haven't done the effects in yet. We just don't want this thing to be popping in like right now with it as well, right? So this kind of puts it in together perspective with it. This concludes the adding of the text into your video with it. So I'd like for you to add a beginning with your name, and then an ending thank you, and somewhere in the middle give me an introduction, make up some like the greenhouse or something like that, just to show me that you've done some text editing with this as well. All right, let me stop the video. Hey, before we get too far with this, ending with this, so I want to point out something that Premiere does is that once you click on the text editing tool over here, and it looks kind of weird the way how it is with it, we need to go back once you finish all the text with it before we get to the next step with it. I'd like for you to make sure you go back to the regular settings with it after you click off of it. And you see how everything is being moved around and things are not the way how it's supposed to be looking at with it. You can go to Windows here, and if you go to Windows down here, and if you scroll down to find, where is that? I think it's under Workplace, Reset, to save layout with it, okay? So if you do that, that actually goes back to the original one with it at the beginning with it, and we can actually close this panel, gives it, and this puts it back to the original configuration that we are looking for right now with it. Cool? All right.